So we are talking about developmental genetics, and this is 4-2C prompt. And the pathway here leads to the formation of spikes in certain cells of the ectoderm of the spiny beetle. So in the mutants lacking P, there are no spikes, which P is being represented with an arrow, which means spikes. Meaning that if you did have P, there would be spikes, which is why we are representing with an arrow. In the mutants lacking I, there are spikes, which is being represented from I, T-bar spikes. Meaning that if we did have I, there would be no spikes, which is why we're being represented with the T-bar. In mutants lacking I and E, there are no spikes, which is why we have an I with a T-bar and an E with a arrow going to spikes. Meaning that we knew lacking I gives you spikes, and lacking E shows us representation of E with an arrow, meaning it gives spikes if it is lacking. In the mutants lacking S and K, there are spikes. So S is being represented with an arrow going to spikes, and then K is being represented with the T-bar going to spikes. So here, S is being represented by an arrow, which means if present, there are no spikes, which means if it's lacking S, there are spikes. And mutants lacking K, there are spikes, which is why it's being represented with a T-bar.